Hey, what's going on everyone? In this video, we're doing a review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. First off, if you want to see like a very proper gaming demo or some sample pictures and videos taken with this phone, you can find links to those videos in the video description. Just simply expand it, there you'll find it. In fact, in the video in which I take some recorded 1080p clips and 4K clips, in that sample video, I'll have a link to download some original recordings, unaltered, unedited. So be sure to check the video description below, and there you can find a whole bunch of neat additional stuff. But let's start with the review. The first thing I want to mention that this is different from the octa-core version. This is the North American version, okay? It's simply quad-core, and that's it. So let's start. The dimensions of the device is that it's 151.2 by 79.2 by 8.3 millimeters, and it's weighing in at a surprisingly light 168 grams. As for the screen itself, it's a 5.7-inch Super AMOLED capacitive touchscreen with 16 million colors with a resolution of 1080 by 1920, which basically means 1080p HD with an approximate 386 ppi. As for the RAM inside, it's 3 gigs. As for the processor, it has an amazing beastly Snapdragon 800 2.3 GHz quad-core Crate 400 processor. As for the GPU, it has an Adreno 330. The camera at the back is a 13 megapixel camera which records at 4K at 30 frames per second. If you don't know what 4K is, basically it's like this. You have 720p, the level above that is 1080p, and the level above that is called 4K. Okay. As for the front-facing camera, it records in 1080p at 30 frames per second. The battery inside is a whopping 3200 milliamps removable. Yes, the battery is removable. Lithium-ion battery. In terms of connectivity, you have GPS, you have Wi-Fi 802.11 ABGN AC, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi Direct, LTE, DLNA, streaming. You also have an IR sensor, which basically means you can use this as a remote control for your TV, and I have confirmed it works indeed. And of course, there's USB 3.0, which means faster file transfer speeds between your computer. And of course, you know, the NFC chip. Another important thing about connectivity is of course the exclusive Samsung S Pen, in which you can control, you know, take notes and etc. Now in terms of storage, it comes in 32 or 64 gigabytes internal, but both of those models have the option to have an expandable memory up to 64 gigabytes micro SD card. The system itself comes with Android 4.3 with the Samsung TouchWiz overlay, of course. So let's go over the body. Obviously at the front you have the gorgeous screen. Here at the top you have the earpiece for making phone calls. Here you have some sensors. This blinking light I can't see with my own eyes. It only shows up on the camera, so don't worry about that. Here you have the front facing camera, screen, home button. When the screen is on, here's the back button, menu button. At the bottom you have the stylus holder. Okay, it just slides right in like that. That's the speaker for media. USB 3.0 port. You can actually connect a USB, a regular micro USB port here. So if you have, say, the Nexus 4 charger, and for example that uses USB 2.0, you can actually put it in the right port. Okay, just it actually fits there. Here's the microphone, making phone calls and stuff. Volume rocker on the left. At the top you have a 3.5 millimeter jack for headphones, auxiliary connection to a stereo system, etc. The second microphone when using, say, the speakerphone, for example. The IR sensor for remote control connectivity to a TV. On the right, all you have is a power button. On the back, okay, you have the camera, the flash for the camera, and that's pretty much it. And as you'll notice here at the top is the notification LED light. Now in terms of the lock screen has this cool waving effect. You can actually customize the wallpaper. As you can see, you can have it separate from your home screen. The screen clarity is fantastic. I'm using pictures that have a higher resolution than the phone can handle, so I'm actually pushing the screen clarity to its maximum potential. Not only that, when playing 1080p movies, heck, some high intensive graphic games, as mentioned, there's a gaming demo video in the description below, the link. It always works superb. I am in awe of the screen. It's fantastic clarity, very, very sharp. Now keep in mind that if this is a 1080p screen, and even if you're watching this video in 1080p on YouTube, you will not see the full potential because YouTube compresses my videos by a lot. So you will lose a lot of detail when watching on YouTube. It's one of those things you have to see in person, but the screen is fantastic. One more important detail about the screen is that viewing angles are pretty darn good. There's no loss of color and darkness and stuff like that, so viewing angles are pretty good too. Okay, so what I'm doing at this point is a speaker test. I'm just gonna play a video from my channel. It's just me talking, doing a review of a TV. So it's on maximum volume right now, so let's see how far I can hear it. 50-inch 3D LED 1080p smart TV. So let's start with the basics. The screen. It has a 1080p screen, obviously, with backlighting. Okay, let me tell you what I can hear with my own ears. Notice that the design is very sleek. That's what I just said. So I'll be able to hear with my own ears better than my camera mic will pick up. But I'm able to hear everything word for word exactly, so the speaker on this thing is fantastic. Alright, so let's talk about gaming performance. As mentioned, I'm not going to do a full gaming demo in this video, that we found in a different video. But let me just say that this is the best device I've ever done gaming on. Not only because it has a 1080p screen, it's just the processor and the GPU is so powerful in this device. It's just that I've never played games so smooth in my life on any Android device. So this is the best gaming device for Android I've ever used thus far. Now when it comes to Samsung exclusive features, there are just too many to show you guys. In fact, some of them are very, very useless and you can't get rid of them. One of the neater ones though, of course, is multi-window. Here, let's say I want to put my gallery at the top. Okay, so now let's say I want to have YouTube. So as you can see, I have two windows. I have the gallery app running, and at the bottom I have YouTube, and of course you can always adjust the size on each one. Now I've made YouTube a bigger type of focus, so that's one of the better Samsung features available. So let's talk about the other Samsung features. One of the more useless ones, just as an example, is S Translator. I actually recommend you get the Google Translate app from Google Play, which is free. It works much better. Then you have S Voice. What is the weather today? And of course, this is the voice dictation app. Today we have sunshine with a few clouds. Which pretty much everyone knows about. Then you have some like air gesture commands. If say your hands are dirty and you can't touch the screen, wave your hand. I think it has to be 7 centimeters away from the front-facing camera, and you're able to change the pictures and stuff like that. You can even use this in web pages, so it's pretty neat. There are some additional features which I can't really demonstrate because I would need more than one Note 3. For example, you can share the sound coming out of all your Note 3s if you have more than one. But let's go with the S Pen. That is, what most people want to see. You can press the button on the S Pen here, which opens up a special window. So, for example, Action Memo allows you to take a quick note. This is a note. And you can actually tell this app to convert it into regular digital text. So it'll be converted in, say, a text message text. Another one is Scrapbook, which basically allows to capture things on your screen. So let's say I want to capture this stuff. It'll add it to a thing called a scrapbook, in which you can make literally a digital scrapbook. Of course, it takes a bit more longer to process because it's taking a bit of a screen capture. Another feature is if you want to take even quicker note, you just simply write where you're at. I'm writing. I know my writing's really bad. I'm trying to rush this video because this video is gonna turn very long because there's just too many features to show you guys. Then of course you have S Finder, which is kind of like its internal searching app. I'm not gonna go through this because I don't really like it too much. It's nothing too cool. It's pretty old in Android. Pen window. Okay, draw any size on the screen. So what this basically does is, say I want to make a mini app drawer this size. Well, it's going to open it up and there's my mini app drawer, so I can select an application to use. Of course, you can adjust the size of this depending on how big you draw the box, or how small rather. Now, the S Pen can be used for any command at all. Basically, anything your finger can touch, this thing can do as well, but more. So for example, if I hover here, I'm in the text messaging app, and I see this little icon, I can say, hello, all right, press done, oops, and now it's turned it into SMS text message. That's what I was telling you about. So it does a pretty good job of recognizing handwriting. And of course, it has other things like the hover feature. For example, here in my gallery, if I just hover the S Pen over, I can get a quick preview of the gallery itself. So say I select that gallery. I can actually now zoom in on the image. Now these options here I'm showing you right now are possible with your finger. You just gotta activate them in the options settings menu. Now in terms of the general camera options, I'm just gonna let you guys pause the video here and read this text because this video is gonna turn really long. As I said, this phone has just like a ridiculous amount of built-in features. But the camera options are pretty nice. Most of them are gimmicky. For example, taking a picture with recorded audio, I would rather just record a 9-second video instead with motion. But yeah, you have a ton of options here. Again, if you want to see some various recording conditions and download a video, a 4K video and 1080p video, completely unaltered, taken with this camera phone, be sure to check out the sample video link. In that video's video description, that's where you can download the original recorded video. So the camera on this thing provides excellent quality for a camera phone. Let me just put it that way. Unfortunately, I don't have a 4K TV or 4K monitor, so I can't really tell you the full extent of the quality of the 4K video recording, but let me just say this. The 4K video, when I played it back on my 1080p LED computer monitor, was fantastic. I was actually outstanded by how good the quality is from a camera phone. Alright, so one of the last things I want to demonstrate for you guys for the Samsung features is Smart Pause, which basically pauses the video when you look away. This works in the YouTube app and the Samsung Video Player app. So right now the video's paused, I'm not touching the screen. Those of you that don't know what power lining is, it's playing. I'm gonna look away. As soon as I look away, it pauses. I look back. Let me just say the easiest way to say it very quickly. And it works pretty darn good. Alright, let's talk about call quality. This is a phone after all, so let's not forget. I would say cell phone quality is okay. I was actually expecting better. Now in terms of battery life, this thing has a humongous battery. Let me give you practical numbers. I've used this phone for about, say, 2 hours talk time, 2 hours screen time. You're talking video game playback, web browsing, just general day-to-day usage. And I still had, this is from a full charge, I still had about 36% battery. If I wasn't playing video games, I would be certain that the battery would have lasted even more, and that was over a day and a half time. Now I would love to show you guys some more features, but this video is turning really long. There's just too much stuff packed into this phone. So if you want to see the comparisons to the Galaxy S4, the Xperia ZL, gaming demo, all that stuff, find the links below. Okay, so it's time to break this review and down into its final rating, and I'll give this phone a 4.5 out of a 5, and here's why. The pros of the device is it has amazing screen. Screen clarity is fantastic, and the fact that it's a huge screen for a smartphone, it makes everything that much more clear. As a media device, it's fantastic. Playing 1080p movies, playing video games, looking at pictures, overall it's great. The hardware built inside, the processor, the camera, the GPU is top notch, it's top quality. This is a beast phone, let me just put it that way. It's unbelievably blazingly fast, and it will be for many years to come. In terms of video recording quality, let's just say that DSLRs will still always be better. I mean, let's face it, you can't really fit a huge sensor in here, but for a camera phone, this thing provides amazing quality. Actually, the best video recording quality I've seen in a smartphone. The system settings itself are very customizable. Now, I'm talking about the exclusive Samsung features. You can turn them on, you can turn them off, you can have select ones on. Speaking of which, there are plenty Samsung exclusive features, many to utilize. The speakers itself, as I demonstrated, is very loud. It provides great audio quality. Battery life on this thing is amazing. It's the best I've ever used in a phone. There are plenty of picture taking options and video recording options. The built-in camera app is more than you need. You won't need to download a third-party camera app from Google Play. There is of course dual record, which I demonstrated in the camera sample video. You can record with the front-facing camera and the rear camera at the same time. Gaming performance is the best I've ever seen on this device. This is the best Android gaming device to this day. In terms of the body design itself, I find it very comfortable. Considering how huge this phone is, I am astonished that it weighs as little as my Nexus 4, which is a lot smaller, and it's quite thin. And the back, this leathery type makes it look like a notebook, but in terms of comfort, it actually feels very comfortable to hold despite its big size. The stylus itself is very responsive, just like it was if you were using your finger to control the screen. Not only that, the stylus commands, or rather the S Pen commands, are very easy to use and learn. Stylus recognizing handwriting does a pretty good job. There's also a remote control built in here because of the IR sensor. There's of course Miracast, which basically you can wirelessly mirror whatever on your phone to a Miracast supported device like your TV. And lastly, it has USB 3.0, which means you can transfer files much faster if you have a USB 3.0 port on your computer. There's of course some minor cons that didn't give a perfect score. The first one is a problem I have with the Galaxy S4, and that's the system settings menu is a huge, giant, cluttered mess. What I preferred Samsung done was that they had a tab for generic Android features and a separate tab like this for exclusive Samsung features. Instead, this cluttered all over the place and it's hard to find a certain function sometimes. A lot of the gimmicky apps from Samsung aren't needed. For example, I don't like S-Translate, all this other stuff. Some of them just can't be removed. You're stuck with them. Overall, let me just say this is the best Android device I've used to this day. That's a bold claim, especially coming from me because I go through a lot of Android devices, but it's that darn good. Definitely worth checking out despite its very, very expensive price tag. So if you guys found this video useful, be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter links in the video description. Hit the like button, it does help, subscribe, and thanks for watching.